Let's get it. Shake it like understand who I is. Not that many gon' do it like this. Bob your head, we can hear my shit, but I'm on my shit. I has no chill. I'm who I are. I'm who I is.
Hey, welcome back for another episode of The Dating Game. I'm Sean.
And I'm King.
And King actually brought another a video for us to review. I don't know much. I know very little about it, probably like 2%. He dropped some guy's name, Cam Newton, I think you said. Probably shame on me. I don't know who he is. I assume he's a football player.
Tish. Yes, he is. He is a very good football player, a guy that's over 6 feet, a guy that has over six figures. And he made some comments that has gotten a lot of people talking here. So this is a great way for us to get through this video and talk about some of the things that he said, as well as, what are our thoughts on what Cam Newton brought out there to the world.
Gotcha. And before we get started, of course, guys, go ahead and just hit that subscribe, that like, that comment, that share, because this video is going to be fire. Right, King?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's
Cool.
all we do is bring flames over here.
One other thing. So I started a link tree for us, for our viewers as well. So you can find out everywhere where we're at. And also, when I want to donate to somebody, I don't necessarily want to donate money. I know there's probably a lot of people out there that's like me, that don't want to donate money. So a lot of the links we put on the link tree are ways you can help support the channel without spending a single penny. So I put some referral links on there that'll help us out. So, Mint Mobile, I'm sure you guys have heard of it. I have it. I switched to it. I'm obviously not sponsored by them, but if you like to save money on your cell phone bill and get the same service, go ahead and switch to Mint Mobile. It's $15 a month. I think, King, you switched to it too, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. Any issues with it?
Yes.
Oh, well, damn.
Nah, man. I'm joking, man. You can strike that out.
Okay.
I didn't stay with him only because it wasn't for me.
Gotcha. All right. No worries.
But you can edit that out. So
no, I'll leave it in for them. They need to know the truth.
All right.
Maybe Ryan Reynolds will hit you up. But yeah, just go ahead and check out the link tree. It'll be down in the description. And like I said, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. So before ado is in any way furthered, we're going to jump on into it.
All right, let's bring this video up. So to give proper credit, this is the $1 Million Podcast, all right, that's held on the No Amsterdam YouTube page, okay? So shout out to them for their content and what got a lot of people talking here, okay? So this is fair use right here.
The upbringing, you growing up, what was that like? How was that?
So I'm not one of these dudes to be like, bro, I'm gutter, I'm this, I'm that. Man, I had a perfect example of what a man was in my life by my father. My parents has been together for 36, 37 years now, and it's a beautiful thing. I grew up in a 3-parent household, my mom, my father, and my grandmother.
Okay, so let's start right there. Let's set the stage, all right? He was asked at the beginning part of when they started filming or started shooting to just talk about his upbringing. And how he led this was to say, hey, he was in a 3-parent household. And I think that he made a very specific reason for saying a 3-person led household, being his mom and his dad, who was together for 30 plus years, plus his grandmother. Okay. And I felt like that was a choice. And the rest of what he's about to say was just simply what Cam decided to bring out of his mouth. So let's keep playing and hear what Cam had to say.
All right.
And I knew what a woman was, not a bad bitch.
Okay, what's the difference?
A woman.
Okay.
A bad bitch is...
So, Sean, before he gives into his definition of a bad bitch, what's your definition of a bad bitch?
Whew. I guess by not getting too much into it as far as detail, but I'm just going to say she's not wife material. She wasn't raised to be a wife. She was... she looks good, of course, probably will hold you down to some extent, but a lot of it a lot of what she is about is on the outside. That would be my, I guess, definition of a bad bitch. A lot of
Okay,
the
so
outside. Yeah.
so would you say typically a bad bitch is somebody that does have their stuff together?
I think hers personally is probably about it, if that.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So let's hear what Cam said because he made a distinction between a woman versus a bad bitch. So let's hear what Cam had to say.
A person who's just, you know, girl, I'm a bad bitch. You know, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I look the part, but I don't act the part.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of women who are bad bitches, and I say bitches in a way not to degrade a woman, but just to go off the aesthetic of what they deem is a boss chick. Now, a woman for me is handling your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs.
All right. So if you heard what he said when he gave of the definition of a woman, he said somebody that knows how to handle their own as well as cater to a man's needs. Any problem or any comments with that particular line right there?
None for me. For me, no.
Why not?
I mean, it seemed pretty accurate. Well, was she still saying a bad bitch caters to a man's needs, or she talking about a real woman does?
No. In that last couple of sentences, he was saying that a woman is somebody who's able to take care of their own, hold their own, as well as cater to a man's needs.
Oh yeah, that's accurate. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Right. And I think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic of like, I'm a boss bitch, like I'm a this, I'm a that. No, baby. Like, but you can't cook.
Okay.
You don't know, you don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead.
Now, a lot of women, now the kickback of that is be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet for the man and handle his business. You know, that's what they say. Oh, I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm gonna be submissive to a man and handle his business. That's what they're gonna say. So, what is your?
But it's ways to do it. And I'm not just about to sit up here and beat up my queens.
No, I ain't saying like that.
But I'm also gonna also tell the men to start being men, bro.
Absolutely.
Like, that sucker shit should not be rewarded.
And what sucker shit? So,
you know, when a person carries himself social media wise and it's a fraud in real.
I just want to interject real quick. What he was saying is definitely on point. I'm in agreement with him, and I think what he's trying to say is when you want to lead, or you know you're a leader, or you're supposed to lead, you got to know how to lead. You know, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that saying of is it? I think it's value, something like that. You won't be able to value unless you know what value really is. You know.
Yep.
So if you want to lead, you got to know how to be a leader. You just can't want to be a faux leader. You know. So,
Yes.
yeah.
And two, since this is a good natural pause point, people got turned up to what he talked about when he was talking about the ladies, to where there's people that hadn't watched this whole thing, which I've watched this entire podcast episode. But if you heard what he was just talking about recently, he's talking about men as well, as far as, you know, them having to be on point as well. But did that get any shine when you got all these feminists and other areas that was clowning Cam? No, they didn't go into the rest of what he had to say. They just talked about him saying that a woman has to cater to a man's needs and everything like that. But I think what was understood but not said is that same guy, and this is King's opinion. Yours might be a little bit different, Sean. Also should have an understanding of his woman and be able to cater to her needs as well. What do you think about that?
I agree. It shouldn't be one way. Relationships, no matter what kind of relationship you have or you're in, they are two ways. It's a two-way street. You know, it isn't just one way. Now, will a man and female have their different dynamics? Yes.
Yes.
Are there certain things that a man is probably going to be expected to do? Yes. But on the other side of the same coin, there's going to be things that women are expected to do. And the ones that men always bring up that women tend to get upset about is cooking and cleaning. And I really don't think that's a big a big thing that a big problem. I mean, like if a guy asks you, "Hey, can you cook? Can you clean?" and if that's like the base of what he's asking you for, that shouldn't be a problem because they're still expecting the real men to do real men things and to lead. But we don't bat an eye when they're like, what do you do? What can you bring to the table? We tell them, we bring out our resume, But when we ask for their resume, it's like, well, why do you need that for? So I'm here, aren't I? So give me the job.
Man.
Okay.
It's more to every person that got money, or every person who's rich isn't a real one.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that gets kind of misconstrued in this society now because a lot of people have money, but they're not genuine people,
Right.
And I pride myself. Everybody who knows me knows, like, bro, Cam's a solid dude.
Okay. Let's make an assumption here, Sean. How do you think that Cam's household was? Now, I kind of know the answer, but I'm curious what you think.
I mean, if it's his father, his mother, and a grandmother, and he's saying that his dad was pretty much the perfect example of a dad or a man. Yeah, I'm thinking he probably did grow up in a good household. I'm thinking that the mother and father handled business. Probably the father was the breadwinner. And who's the grandmother? Is it his grandmother or her grandmother?
He didn't say.
Okay. Well, in any case, it doesn't really matter. But I mean, it sounds like they're doing the right thing by taking care of the grandmother. Kind of doing that full circle thing. Because when you're a baby, your parents take care of you. Then when your parents get old, you take care of them. So yeah, I think that his father was doing the right thing based off of nothing that I know about him, actually, that I'm finding out right now. Because even the way he speaks, I can tell he was raised in a good household. He speaks very clearly.
Yep.
He can probably code switch because most of us Black people can code switch. I can. A lot of people think I can't, but I can and I do. But it's when it's needed. So yeah.
All right. Yeah. So Cam's father, if you were to just do a quick Google search, so Cam was a highly sought out college athlete. Okay. He played at a junior college level at first and then transferred and went to Auburn University. Actually, no, he started out in Florida and then he went to a junior college and then went to Auburn. But it was his year at Auburn that really, saw him shine. His dad was involved in controversy regarding like pay for play and different things like that. But by all accounts, like Cam's dad was a heavy influence in his life growing up and making decisions and things like that. So I don't believe that while his grandma was, around, I think that his dad was the stronger parent as far as making the decisions and leading inside of his household. As a matter of fact, Cam was even quoted in saying that, what's brought me comfort is that, I've been able to talk to my dad and seek guidance from him, even through some of the issues that he's been accused of in the past. That's still my dad, and I know he's got my best interests at heart. Cam's not married, okay? And I'd have to do a search here to see if he is if he has any kids or anything like that. But if you think about this though, Cam's a dude that's over 6 feet. He's got some status to him and things like that. And when I Google him up, Cam's got 7 kids with 2 previous girlfriends, according to this article that was published 4 days ago. Okay. So he's got one with this girl, Kia, or this woman, Kia, who they have 3 children. Okay. And then he has a daughter with somebody named Shakira. Let's see, he has a daughter, Shakira, from a previous marriage, who he refers to as his stepdaughter. Okay, so that might not be his actual kid. Okay. Newton said that him and the other woman were never married because he wasn't ready to be a husband. Hold on. Zoom in on me. Of course, you're not ready to be a husband. You're a multi-millionaire over 6 feet with status.
How old is he? Do we know?
Cam, if I were to guess, he's not that much younger than I am. I'm about to be 38. I'm guessing Cam's about 34,
Really?
34, 35. Let me see. I have to look this up. So while I'm looking at up, I mean, tell me, Sean, like, what do you think about him saying I wasn't ready to be a husband?
Now that I kind of know his stats, it kind of sounds like a. Uh-oh. I think
He's
your audio
32.
just. He's 32.
He's 32.
Yeah, like I said, now that I know his stats, it kind of sounds like he's enjoying his status. But he's, even though he had a real father and he says a real man to be there and tell him what down. It sounded like he wasn't really following through. If he got 7 kids and basically 2 baby mothers, if I'm being real.
Let's see. So after that podcast aired, do you think that Cam Newton had any follow-up words after the outrage or not?
About him or about what he's talking about the women before?
About what he said.
Probably. I would venture to think he did. Did he?
Nope, which I'm freaking thankful for. But what kind of caused this to come into fire as well was back in 2017, there was a female news reporter or sports a reporter who had asked him about running routes. And before he answered, he just kind of laughed and said, "It's funny to hear a female talking about routes." And when you saw the film, you were just kind of like, come on, Cam.
Yeah.
To which that he had apologized about. And I'm actually glad that he did. And as a matter of fact, he said, and I quote, "After careful thought, I understand that my word choice was extremely degrading and disrespectful to women." So when this podcast aired right here, the one that's up on the screen now, it made people hearken back to what he said back in 2017. And in my opinion, that's not fair. I think it's a conversation piece, but I don't think that it's a fair assessment of him and how he views women as a whole.
Yeah. Everyone puts their foot in their mouth every now and again. I do it more often than I like to.
Absolutely.
I got plenty of female friends that'll tell me that I do put my foot in my mouth all the time. I'm like, I tried to tell them before, like, look, there's going to be some times I'm going to say some things that you're not going to agree with. And it's not because I'm saying it to be mean. It's just that it just happens sometimes. So you got to know that I don't mean anything negative by it, but it's going to happen. So I'm not perfect. I mean, if you know someone's perfect, put me in direction. So.
All right. And there's another thing to cover that Cam had talked about when he talked about one of the ladies of his children. He had said that they were both young, and this was his first kid's mom. Mm-hmm. He said that there was nothing and still nothing that I would never do for her. But at the same time, the person she was when I met her, it wasn't the person she was when I left her. He said, when I met Kia, and I say this protecting her, she wasn't the one to be like, I want to get married. I was more so the person, my parents being together for 36 years, I know what marriage looks like, the ups and downs, the trials and the tribulations. And then he goes on to say, I seen Kia evolving into a woman where her standards were, I ain't just no baby mama. And when she kept pressuring me, I was like, I don't know if this is what I really want.
Right.
And he even admitted that while in the prime of his NFL career, he couldn't resist other women who would approach him by going on and saying, I was in Temptation Island, a football player, young. No was not in my vocabulary. I just found myself in this downward spiral. Did she deserve better? I would humbly say yes, she did. And he did what I'm gonna say a majority of people. I'm not gonna say all because it's not an all thing, but a majority of people in his situation would do. He exercised those options, plain and simple. You know, while having, you know, this lady that he grew up, because I think him and Kia had grew up together. You know what I'm saying? And you know, he knew what she was about and things like that. Because she could have demanded things from him, you know, that could have made his life and job a little bit harder. But man, I'm gonna say this, and it's not gonna sound right. Not because I don't know them, I don't know her, but in my opinion, she played her role. She just plain and simple, like she played her role and benefited from the fact that her guy's Cam Newton, you know. She gave 3-4 kids to him, and her life's not gonna be bad because of who she chose to lay down with. Okay, she can go out and be with other people if she wanted to, and still know that because she had kids with a NFL star quarterback, she'll be all right.
Right. Hey, King, real quick. Did you get your eyebrows done? Because
Yes,
they're
sir,
looking
I
on
did.
fleek. Just kidding.
Yes, sir, I did.
I noticed that. I was like, damn, they shop.
Gotta stay on point over here. I also went and got a manicure because you know what? Self-care is important.
Let's get it. Shake it like understand who I is. Not that many gon' do it like this. Bob your head, we can hear my shit, but I'm on my shit. I ain't had